We are all born as empty vessels, which can be shaped by moral values. Values are the norms and set rules or principles that any society can adopt to build a strong bonding and connection of the individuals with the societies. Values represent human beings' ideology and reflect what is more important to them. If people do not regard values, they ended up and the bond of society and individuals can break into pieces. Lack of values means when someone has no moral grounds and no conscience, so one can do whatever he or she pleases. This may lead to moral lapses of all kinds like deceit, arrogance, lying, bitterness, hatred, anger, and etc. We are standing on a shaky basis if we think that one can live without any moral values. Another question can be asked: who decides what is right and what is wrong for a person? Lack of values can create a lot of chaos and disorder in society. It can make people do things that they usually would not do and can cause them to act out of destructive ways. As we can say, it happens nowadays in our society, especially with this modern technology. People can say anything they want that sometimes may hurt others, and sometimes people can even kill others with their words. This happened in our society because of the lack of moral values. A lack of values can also lead to corruption because people will be willing to do anything to get ahead. Without any moral compass, people will have no problem stepping on others to get what they want. There are some causes that give fire to a lack of moral values. One cause that could One cause could be that someone was never taught any values growing up. Another cause could be that someone has gone through a traumatic experience that has led him or her to question everything that he or she believed in. Another cause is that some people simply choose to abandon their values because they no longer see the point of living by them. Whatever the reason, the lack of values always lead to negative consequences. The effects of lack of values can be disastrous in a person's individual life or in a society. People without values have no conscience, which means they can do whatever they want or whatever they please without any regard for the consequences. They can even kill others by words or action. Therefore, let us see that it is so important to implant the moral values in oneself ever since in the younger age, in the childhood. A growing child imbibes a lot of lessons throughout their student years, most of which stick with them for the rest of their lives. Students with high ethical values become accountable, responsible, and honest people, while those without moral values to abide by becoming a threat to themselves and to the society. Moral values are the key components of a person's character. They are personality traits guiding people to make decisions and judgments according to their own sense of what is right and what is wrong. And this always based on collectives and individual experiences. While moral values are essential in whatever stage of life we are in, the values that most adults have are the ones that were instilled in us during our childhood. They form the fundamentals in any student's or a person's life. Moral values pave the path for all the decisions in life. As without these values, children do not have any guidance and their life seems to have no directions. In order to be accepted and respected by the society, parents and teachers should make sure of imbibing these strong moral values in children and in students as a lifestyle itself. It is absolutely important to teach moral values in students because it is then that they take their first steps toward life, and it matters that they do it right. These moral values shape their attitudes, their beliefs, their ideas, and help them develop into undeterred and morally strong individuals. Children are extremely good observers and they follow what they see. So it is by role modeling that we can pass on this priceless treasure of virtues to our children, who will in turn pass it on to the generations to come to ultimately make the world a better place. How do we implant these moral values to our children? First, it is important to be their role model. Second one, we can do it by sharing our moral experiences. The next, we can do it by helping them to practice their learning. Whatever they have learned about moral values, we need to help them to practice it. The next one is to acknowledge their good behavior. Next, we need to communicate clearly and effectively. And the other important point is to teach them of being intelligent in using the media, especially in our modern time. So, what are the essential moral values that the children should learn? First is gratitude. As our Pope Francis teaches us the magic words sorry, excuse me, thank you. So, gratitude is one of the magic words that our Pope teaches us. The second one is honesty. We need to teach our children to be honest since their younger age. Next one is sharing. And then we need to teach them also about the empathy. And there are still many more moral values that we can teach to our children to help them to implant this in their lives since their younger age so that they can grow up with these moral values and they can be the future of our society that have better moral values than our time now. In the end, you want your child to learn critical thinking skills, especially in the time we live currently. But in order to do critical thinking, one needs a good set of values and attitude to use as starting point and reference. Moral values are connected to fundamental human emotions and experiences that motivate and guide us all. So let us continue to be good parents, good teachers that can transfer the moral values to our children, to our students, so that they can make a better world in the future. Thank you.